Well, ladies and gentlemen, look who we have on the show this evening. Marios, it is a pleasure and honor, mate. How are you?
Hey, dude. Pleasure to be here with you. Thanks for having me. I'm good, man. I'm good. How about you?
I'm very well. I can see that Indiana Jones box right behind you there. That's a collector's edition, I'm guessing.
It's a collector's edition, and guess what? I haven't opened it yet.
What?
No, I know. Ever since I got it, it's still there. I really, honestly, this sounds like an excuse, but I haven't really had the time to open it. The way it deserves to be opened. Like celebrate it, like a ritual. I don't want to just open it. So yeah, I haven't done that yet, but it's right there, and it's a good decoration for each and every call I have here.
Maybe subconsciously you don't want to open it because you don't want this ride to ever end.
I think you might have a point here. It's just it's been so blissful and beautiful. So I'm like, please never let that happen. Never let that end. But everything comes to an end eventually. But we've been having a pretty good ride so far, I'd say.
So this was your first performance capture, full body that you'd ever done. You're working with Troy Baker. You're working with Tony Todd, mate. I mean, that's nerve wracking for anyone. How were you feeling?
Yeah. Oh my God, I was flabbergasted with that. When I found out this is going to be the game, this is going to be the cast, and I'm going to be playing one of the main roles. I was like, oh my God, I started from zero. I mean, not really from zero. I've been in the industry for a long time, but motion capture and internationally performing with Troy, with Ali, with the late Tony and Tom Keegan is a big honor, and this is how I felt throughout the whole process.
Where the hell did this guy come from, man? How did you even come up with this guy to balance the humor, the sadistic nature of him? How the hell did you do this?
It's just very good writing. This is first and foremost. This is the main reason, man. It's just such a well-written role that all I had to do is really play off that paper, and off that script. And no, but honestly, ever since I first got the audition in 2020, early 2020, and I read the scene, which was the Vatican scene, the first scene that I appeared, the Voss appears. Yeah, that was the audition scene. I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is, but it seems very like hardcore and I don't know, really extreme, and I was loving it from the very first time I read it, and then I just went with it. And thank God I didn't know this was an Indiana Jones title. Otherwise, I don't think I would have gone that hardcore with my audition either. So
what do you mean hardcore? What did you do exactly?
I mean, I don't want to spoiler. You give away any spoilers for people who haven't played it, but the very first scene, I mean, Voss he's implying that he's talking to to the priest, whatever. If you don't do as I say, then I'm going to expose your not so well behaving whatever habits. It's hardcore stuff, even for Indiana Jones. And I would have never thought this is Indiana Jones. I thought maybe this is Wolfenstein or something, right? I knew it was a Nazi, right? The references in the script were there, but I wasn't aware that this is indie. And then I was kind of free to go with whatever I thought is right, because I thought this is like an X-rated game, which it's not. It's Indiana Jones, right? It's not as hardcore as Wolfenstein. It's still hardcore, and the character is really hardcore, but it's not Wolfenstein. So if I'd known that this is Indiana Jones, I probably wouldn't have been as free as I was to try out this stuff my way.
Have you released the audition you did? Have you shown it?
I haven't.
No? Would you ever do that?
Actually,
or would you be too...
I would. I actually have to talk to Machine Games and Bethesda if they're okay with it. I would love to release it because it was pretty much an improvisation. I remember I was in Greece. I mean, it was a long, process of auditioning. We had I had a self-tape myself first, and then submitted, and then I got a recall, whatever, do this, do that, and there was like a big audition thing when I was for vacations in Greece, And Tom Keegan called me up in the middle of the night and said, "Hey, we got all the executives here from Bethesda, whatever, Machine Games. They want to see you. Just be ready to turn on the cam and let's go." And then I had like problems, as we had in this call, like internet problems. We couldn't get any proper connection. I was like, "Oh my God!" I have like 20. Oh my God! It was like 15 to 20 people in that call. And I was like, "Oh my God, no, please no." So then Tom was like, "Whatever, fuck it. Just send another self tape. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We can't really see you. We can't hear you. Whatever." I was like, "Okay, that went well." And then I taped myself with my sister being the reader, and my sister is not an actress, but she did a terrific job. She helped me. She was playing the counterpart. And then I sent the tape, and then like I don't know, it took a couple of months until I got the info from my management that I booked the part, and then the rest is history.
So when they send, you booked the part, is that when you found out it was indie?
Yeah. Actually, no, it was even later. It was,
wow.
I didn't know what it was until I met Tom Keegan in 2021, December in New York. And I asked him, "Hey, Tom, it's cool that I booked the part, but are you going to tell me what it is?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's Indiana Jones." I was like, "Get that out of here."
Wow.
And then I said, "Okay, so who's going to play Andy?" He's like, "Oh, it's Troy Baker." I said, "Get out of here, dude." And I was shocked, because then I felt all the responsibility on my shoulders. I was like, "Oh my God!" And I'm the main bad guy. I'm the main antagonist, the main villain. I said, "Yeah, you're the baddie." And then I started to stress out really bad. I was like, "Oh my God." No, I mean, not really. I was excited, but it was like, okay, now I got to deliver. Now the work starts.
How many days does it take to go from excitement to stress?
Seconds. No. It was a beautiful process. I had a lot of time to prepare for the part.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, of course. And then we slowly developed the character with my acting coaches, with Tom Keegan, of course, on set, with Troy and Allie and everybody who was there. This is just part of the creative process on set.
Who gave you the biggest insight to the character besides the writing to help you craft him?
I say he's probably my acting coach, Bernard Hiller, who I've been training with for a long time. He's known me for many years in LA. Him and Adrian Gaeta, they're both some of my very close people that I've known for many years and who know me very well, and they knew what kind of qualities of mine I had to bring to the table in order to make the character work. But I had a pretty clear vision of how I, kind of like envisioned the character and how I wanted him to be, and what kind of flavor he has, like his essence. That was right there, right off the bat, right from the start. When I read the audition script, I felt like, okay, this is how I want to do it. This is how I feel it. And as an actor, it's super important to really go with your instincts. They may not be all right in the end, because it's part of the creative process that you like switch things up, change stuff about your character with the director and the creative team. But in that case, it was really on par with my vision right off the bat and that I had of the character.
And do you start with the humor, the intimidation, the tone, like the voice? Where do you start with him? Because there's so many facets to him, I find.
Yeah, I know. The voice somehow was right there. If I ever upload the audition scene, you'll see that a lot of what Voss is in the game was already there right from the audition. It was just intuition. It was instincts, and then again, it was like I kind of felt that character inside me. And it sounds very, whatever, like esoteric whenever when I say this, but this is part of the actor's work. If you can't find the character deep within you, there's no character. You just act a character. You never are the character. And I perceive my profession as something very profound. It's not like I pretend to be Voss. Where is Voss inside of me? And this is part of the beauty of the of acting, that every character you play, you get to play, resonates in one way or another, deep within you.
And you said this was a life-changing experience.
It was 100%. It was a life-changing, career-changing experience even. It was because I mean, these kind of like edgy characters are part of my portfolio. Yeah, if you look up my CV and what kind of characters I've acted or voiced in the past, they're all. I mean, a lot of them are really extreme in their ways and how they express. So this is not new territory for me, right? I'm used to that. It's probably the reason why I get cast all the time for these type of characters, because I might be kind of okay in acting them. So yeah, that's really all I can say. And then you just ride the wave, man. These characters want to be expressed as well. It's so much fun.
What scene would you show Steven Spielberg or George Lucas? What scene would you be, if you had to pick one scene to show them, what would you pick?
Of the entire game?
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, probably my favorite scene is the very first scene in the Vatican.
Really?
Because yeah, I think so, because this is where the character gets introduced. He's intimidating. He's subtle. He doesn't really say out loud what he's threatening the priest with, but everybody gets it. It's like, what is he saying? That sneaky little motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't really need a lot of explanation. And I think that the timing of the entire scene, not only me, but Mussolini and Troy and Indy and Gina, and like the editing of the scene and how it's like blocked and set up, it's just so Spielberg-esque. It's very eerie, such an eerie scene, man. I think this is still my favorite scene. There are many parts, probably later in the game, where Voss picks up some Italian and says "La famiglia è tutto." It's probably one of my favorite parts as well. Or there is one scene that I really love in the game. It's actually not a scene; it's just a certain angle. Okay, spoilers. Full disclosure.
Yeah.
Last scene, or second last scene before the big ending scene on the ship, where Indy and Voss kind of like confront each other, and it's more like a conversation, like a conversational scene they have. Like, they talk about this and that, and I found the Ark, and cool, and blah blah blah. What can you tell me about the Great Flood? And then when Voss lures Indy to the other room to show him what he discovered, he's kind of like disappearing in the back and in the dark.
Yeah,
saying,
that was cool.
Come.
That was sick.
And like the way the shade is falling on his face on the glasses, man, that's some scary shit right there. I love that. Like, that's so well set up by Machine Games.
Did they tell you about the glasses? Do you get a
yeah. I had a.
Yeah.
Sure, we had like an image of the character, right? When they broke down, the entire like game, and were the like this ultimately to take it to, they showed us several images of the characters and of my character as well. And no, he was right there. He looked really, really cool. I felt like, with the glasses, kind of intellectual, but still have this Nazi uniform, and custom tailored and everything, so bespoke and everything. It was really cool, a cool looking character, and it helped me with being able to really I don't know, like to envision the character, because motion capture, you don't really have a costume on. You have the motion capture suit, and you have to work with your imagination. So seeing that character on a screen and knowing, hey, this is how he looks, it really helps your imagination. And I kind of try to match with whatever I was seeing.
And so, from my understanding, as you alluded to before, there was a DOP, a cinematographer
Yes.
to try and capture the essence of the indie films, right? And not many games have done that, from my understanding. Where you're blocking it out like a movie. Every scene is blocked out, and no, there's still
100%.
you
Yes.
are, yeah.
Yes, yes,
So you
100%.
got to hit your
I
markers
don't
and
know.
everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if this is a procedure that they do with every game, but we did with this game. We had real like cinematic cameras. We had the digital cameras, of course, for the motion capture part, but we had actual film cameras like Ares and everything. And Carl Knutz, our DOP. No, we blocked everything. You know, we had our markers. We had this and that. It was like on a movie set,
Rehearsal?
just with no. Yeah, of course.
Wow.
We rehearsed every scene at least twice, 3 times, 4 times, as many times as needed. Switch things up if they didn't quite work the way we wanted to. Yeah, and then we just, did take after take after take. And then as soon as we logged in our favorite take, or Tom Keegan said, hey, I want to have this as a possible selection, then we moved on.
So Tom Keegan's looking at the monitor with the DOP to kind of pick the perfect shot, or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's not only looking at he's actually looking
at you guys. Yeah.
At us, exactly. Because if the scene works, it works, man, and you got to be able to tell from the outside. So he was looking at whatever we were doing, and yeah, then he was throwing in notes or actually talking to us individually, and trying to figure out how to make a scene work even better. And yeah, that's how we went on. And then as soon as we got the take that everybody was happy with, and Tom was happy with, and everybody else was happy with, we just moved on.
I love hearing about director's notes. The one he gave you about.
Oh, great, man!
Getting into Troy's head and not Indy's head.
Yeah, you read this.
I love that.
I know. This
man,
is
that's a great note.
It's a great note, and it's a note that really says a lot about acting itself. Because at the end of the day, it's a very personal profession. There's no such thing as acting. You always act with your own voice, with your body, with your emotions. It's your thoughts, maybe the character's thoughts, but you think those thoughts in that moment. So I remember that one scene didn't quite work where I was really talking about Indy. It was in Egypt, in my office, in Voss's office, where I tried to intimidate him with talking about his dad and that he was afraid of becoming his own father and everything.
Great scene.
Yeah, exactly. And then great scene. And then didn't really quite land the way we wanted it to land. And then Tom comes up to me and just whispers in my ear and says, hey, fuck Indy. Try to get into Troy's head. Try to get into Troy's head, okay? I was like, okay, Tom, fine.
And does he say it with that intensity?
I don't remember. He probably did. I mean, Tom is like, it's the nicest guy I know.
Oh,
like
really?
the nicest guy I know.
That's
No,
good.
Tom is, and I owe Tom so much. If it wasn't for Tom, I wouldn't be in the game, right? Because I met Tom in 2019. Yeah, it was Tom who brought me into this. I met him in 2019 in LA. At the time, I used to live in LA, and we sat down and had a coffee, lunch, because my manager, Alex, she knows him very well and says, hey, I have a German actor here if you want, just go and have a coffee, see what you could do for him or not, whatever. And it was a really cool meeting, but I always had the feeling that, man, I must just come across as super desperate, like one of those actors who just want to,
I know, you don't want to
work
be a
with
user.
him.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I was like, oh my God, he's so nice, but he's only nice because he knows Alex, my manager, and blah, 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 blah. I'm never going to hear back from him. And, well, fast forward 1.5 years later, he, my management sent me the audition and says, hey, Tom Keegan wants to see you in a role. And it's kind of like proof of the concept that whatever you think you invest in yourself that does not come into fruition, just give it some time. Sometimes you gotta like really plant the seed, and then maybe harvesting comes years later and you don't even know.
And it pays to just be nice, doesn't it?
It does, and it pays off because I had invested a lot, like money, energy, time, and everything in my time during my time in LA, and it was just such a beautiful thing to see that, hey, cool. It worked. It worked out. And there was one guy who actually remembered me. And at the time, I had no big, at least no big international credits. I had a lot of credits in Germany, but nobody knew who I was in the U.S. You know. So and for that major part, for him to think of me, there was a big honor. Regardless of whether I booked the role or not, just getting this audition was a big honor.
And he's known as one of the best directors in gaming. You know,
he's
done the Star Wars.
He's the best.
The recent Star Wars games, everyone just speaks so highly of him. I'm sure he's done others that I can't remember, but yeah.
100%. I mean, if for me, like the best acting, and I'll say acting, not voice acting, because motion capture is full on acting. It's not voice acting. The best acting in gaming I've ever seen is probably in Wolfenstein. Like all the cutscenes are something else, man. Are on a different level.
Oh, he did Wolfenstein, didn't he? Yes.
He did Wolfenstein, man. And I mean, I know there's like Red Dead Redemption and like there's so many great performances, right? Yeah. But Wolfenstein, because it is so hardcore, right? And it can be easily like over the top, even in terms of acting. It was still fucking believable, man.
But that's the same with this game.
So good.
That's the exact same with this game. He toes that line.
It's the same with this game. Yeah, it's a fine line to kind of like balance it out between making a character believable and really intimidating, or making him a clown that nobody takes seriously. And it could have easily gone that way with Voss, because he has this like over the topness. So you got to find moments in the game where he actually becomes conversational and like a serious kind of guy. Otherwise, he's just a clowny figure, cartoonish figure.
Now, spoilers, guys. Again, 3, 2, 1. Give you a few seconds to skip. The ending. You obviously get a kind of over the top ending, which is all villains in indie do get a kind of over the top.
Yeah. It's a tradition.
It's a tradition, isn't it?
I know.
And so shooting that must have been thrilling.
Oof. Yeah, but you know what? That for me was probably the easiest scene of all. Because it is.
Oh,
like the dying sequence for me, hilarious. It was like Homecoming, because I have a reputation in the German voiceover industry that I'm really good at dying.
Oh no, you're kidding. You're always dying in games and anime and stuff.
I'm always really good at like dying gruesome deaths and just feeling the pain and really living it and feeling it.
What are your other notable deaths? What characters?
There's a couple of anime characters, man, that have really great deaths. There's one anime. It's called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm not a big anime guy because I don't watch it.
That's a big show.
But I respect it as a medium, and it's very popular. And this anime, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and the character, he's called Dio Brando, and he's like the main villain and demoness and whatever. And his final death scene, man, it's just something else. It's just something else. You look that up, okay? You don't even have to look it up in German. You don't have to listen to me. Just look at the Japanese guy. He does a terrific job, man. The Japanese are just next level shit. So playing or like acting this death, it was like I needed a vacation after this, but it was worth it.
Shit.
No, not really. Not really. As I said, I'm really good at expressing extreme emotion. This is part of the reason why casting directors cast me in certain roles, because I'm really good at expressing a certain intensity. Just because this is me as a personality, as Marios. I'm an intense guy. It's part of my history and who I've always been. And at some point in my life, I started to capitalize that and started to take advantage of that, like controlling my emotion and using it to my advantage rather than having the emotions control me like it was when I was a kid, But ultimately, this is what acting comes down to. It's acting and using whatever is is in you. It's not inventing something that is not there. It's like my acting coach says, you cannot give me what you don't have. You cannot give me what you don't have. Period.
That's so true. Yeah.
It's so true. You can't play intensity if you've never experienced intense shit in your life. Right?
Yeah.
So this is why a lot of the actors that we admire, are so good, because you feel, man, they're so authentic. It comes from a place of truth. He does not pretend to be intense, right? He does not pretend to be dangerous. He's a guy that, I'd love to have a beer with, but there's some true shit in his performance.
So did your intensity get you in trouble in your earlier years? Or how did you kind of get a hold of those emotions?
Yeah, I mean, I was partially a troubled kid and a teenager growing up, dealing with a lot of insecurities, just as many people did. Coping with it was not always easy, for sure. But then the older you get, the older you grow, and you grow up into an adult, and you start to really work with yourself. And acting really, to me, was a way of acting as a coping mechanism to me. It's like using this energy and potential that lies in me and turning something supposedly negative into something very creative and positive. And acting changed my life. It saved me. You hear sometimes rappers or footballers like, I was on the street, and if it wasn't for football or rap, I would be like criminal and shit like that. So it's kind of like that with me. I never really was going to be a criminal or something. No.
What would you have done though?
No.
I'm curious. What do you think you would have done?
It's a good question. I don't know. I'm so in love with acting, and I really believe that this is the one and only thing that I'm supposed to do, that I'm capable of, that there really are no other options. I don't really have an alternative.
But that's what got you to this.
It is. I mean, level. Probably music. Yeah, probably music, I'd say, because, and still like within this creative realm again, right? So, but I play the guitar, I sing. Used to play in a lot of bands when I was younger. So, and this is something I still do. I still play the guitar and just jam around a little bit. But probably something with music, or if it wasn't for the performing arts or whatever music, it would be, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe something with sports. I don't know, because
what's your jam? What's your sport?
I mean, I'm a gym guy. I used to play football in a club when I was younger. I do some martial arts stuff now. I used to be a skateboarder. Teenager. I was a cool kid. I was a cool kid. I never really was that good, but it was just for the sake of rolling on a board, man. It was having to me and do like a kickflip and an ollie now and then. It was cool, and doing like some mini ram stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that, but really, I think that, and now looking back to my childhood and everything, I think acting. I chose acting, and acting chose me. I've always been sort of this like storyteller, entertainer. I used to lie to my school teachers and come up with like stories that weren't even true, but I had a very vivid kind of like imagination, let's call it that. And I was just playing around with everyone, entertaining everyone. So I've always been an actor. I just turned it into a profession later on.
So the day before the reviews come out for Indiana Jones, are you nervous at the reception of your character?
100%.
You are.
100%. Sure. Yeah. And I dare any actor to tell me that he's not nervous, man. It's like when you work on something, you put your heart in it, and sure, you want to know if what you did is at least okay. For me, the main issue there, or my main concern was, man, I don't want to let the Machine Games guys and Bethesda guys, I don't want to let them down. I don't want to give them the feeling that they went with the wrong choice. So that was my main concern. Please let the reviews be okay, solid. I don't even want to be stellar. Just let me be okay. 100% for sure, you know. Because like, man, because I really want to work again. You know, please don't let this be a big failure. And then again, what is failure, man? I had a good feeling because Tom Keegan and everyone at Machine Games, they gave me as soon as we wrapped and even during our shoot, gave me the feeling that that I was on the right path, and they gave me a lot of positive feedback on my role, and which made it really easy for me. Troy as well, Tony, man, these guys were amazing. Alessandra, everyone, Tom, of course. You know, they came up to me, complimented me on my performance, and it meant a lot to me. And we need that. We artists, like us artists, we need that kind of validation, especially from our fellow colleagues, right? Not only from critics, but from colleagues.
Yeah.
From our fellow actors. It's so important. Nothing is more important in terms of like complimenting someone than when it comes from somebody you really admire. And having
Even
Troy
if they're
come up to
having
me
a
and
bad
say,
day, sorry to cut you off, but even if they're having a bad day,
you mean like if I'm having a bad day and then like let's say Troy comes up to me and say, hey dude, you killed it today, or what?
yeah, and if you think I could have done better today, I just wasn't feeling.
Oh,
it.
absolutely. Especially then. Especially then.
Yeah.
Especially when we're having a bad day and like, oh my God, I suck. I'm not worthy. I shouldn't be here. I'm letting everybody down. It's like then, you know, whatever Tom or you know, Troy comes up, hey dude, nailed it. I was like, okay, my day may not be as bad as I thought it is, you know. It really helps. Really helps. And of course, you know, one day before the reviews came out, I think everybody, like at Bethesda Machine Games, we're all kind of like excited and nervous at the same time. Because it was, you know, what the press gave us, and you know, some people who tested the game before, it was positive, but then again, kind of like mixed signals. You know, we can work on this, work on that. So we weren't really sure how the reviews are going to be, and then when they came out, it was like, oof, okay, really?
So when they come out, yeah, it's celebrating time, and especially when they say, you know, you're one of the best, you're up there with the villains in the movies. That sort of praise. How do you not get emotional hearing that? This is one of the greatest film franchises, and they're saying you stood up there with the giants.
Yeah. I mean, as you see, I'm lacking words because this is probably the biggest honor you can receive as an actor, being part of this IP, right? And man, I'm just, as I said, in the first place, I was just happy I didn't let the guys down, and I wanted to make them sort of proud and let them know that, or having them feel that, okay, Marios was the right choice. That was my main concern. And then reading and hearing and seeing all the reviews and those words that are beyond, you know, honor to me is, it just fulfills me with just pure pride and you know, bliss as well. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm very happy about that because ultimately, this is what this game should feel like. It should feel like an authentic Indiana Jones experience. And of course, we want to make the villain as believable as possible, right? And I believe a good game is only as good as the villain is, especially when it's so story-driven like Indiana Jones. And just playing next to Troy, who, man, I really love what he did in The Last of Us, but what he did here in this game is... but this is his masterpiece. It's unbelievable, really unbelievable. Like the nuances and everything, and the believability, man. Playing Indy, being like this Harrison Ford type of guy is. I've never seen this this amount of talent. You know, he's up there with all the big ones, man. And in this industry, for me, he's the biggest one. He's the greatest one.
It's fascinating that he might not have taken the role. He had to kind of be convinced.
I know all the stories.
That crazy? Yeah.
I know all this. I'll know all the stories long before you guys did. I'd heard. Yeah. No, he told us, and I was like, dude, oh my god, thank God you took on the role, because I can't think of anyone better.
Yeah.
Not even Harrison Ford, because he's like in his 80s or something now, right? But I mean, what Troy did is just huge. I know no other words for it.
I know this sounds a bit cliche, but did you ever feel like you were playing against Harrison Ford?
No,
No.
not really.
Yeah.
No, I was no. For me, it was, as I said, it's something very personal, and of course, I'm walking and talking as Voss on set, and Troy's walking and talking as Harrison, or as Indiana Jones. But it's still something personal, you know. I was still feeling that, hey, yeah, I'm here with Troy, who's doing what a performance, man. And then you kind of like let yourself sink in this feel of imagination that you're in this realm of Indiana Jones in Egypt or in the Vatican or, you know, wherever. And then you just serve the narrative and the plot and the story and the characters, and you disappear in the whole story. And this is so great. This is, yeah, it was wonderful.
Anything surprised you working with him?
With Troy?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything like surprising, but he's so down to earth. He's a great guy. Lucky to call him a friend now. And we have a lot of things in common, like besides work, and it's cool. And we every time we get to talk and see each other. Sometimes, you know, it's always fun. Yeah, maybe what surprised me was after we had the first table read, with the whole, you know, cast and you know, the executives and the devs and everything, where they presented us, you know, the concept of the game. Mm-hmm. Troy was there, and we read through the whole script, the whole cast, and that was a Zoom call. And then we met for the first time in Stockholm for the first day of shoot. And we had like a big round of introduction, with like a big circle. Everybody we made like a big circle, and then everybody introduced themselves. And then after that was done with, Troy walked up to me, and I was like, oh my God, he's gonna tell me how bad I am and how much I sucked during the table read. And he came up to me, it's like, dude, man, I shut my pants when you read it. You're so good. Wow. Great performance. And I was like, oof. That meant so much to me, because he took off, you know, all the weight off my shoulders that I had felt right in that moment. And this is what I mean with having your fellow cast member supporting you in that way, especially when it's A-listers, like, and they're all A-listers, not only Troy, but Alessandra, huge actor, the biggest actress in Italy, shot with Nicolas Cage. Tony, of course, needs no further explanation. You know, having all those A-listers supporting you that way it kind of like kickstarted the whole adventure for me.
It gives you that confidence, I was like, doesn't it?
It gave me the confidence, and was like, okay, now we get to work. Let's work. Let's do it. Cool. Yeah. I'm part of the team now. I don't have to prove myself anymore. You know, I don't have to feel that, man, I have to show them how good I am. Especially being like the new kid, you know, on the block. Nobody knows, and they're like, oh, okay, so you're the guy who plays that guy. You know, I felt like part of the team right away, and it was that was an important experience I needed to have right at the beginning in order to make things work for me throughout the entire shooting.
I've got a really serious question. The scene where Voss jumps in like this, you know the one. Is that you or a stunt double?
No, that's me.
Hey,
you can actually look it up. You can look it up on YouTube. There's a making off where you can actually see me doing like the jump scare. That was me. I wasn't sure if that was me. I had to look it up myself. And then I saw it on YouTube and I was like, oh, fuck, I actually did that.
How do you forget something like that?
I know. It was a good moment, man. It was a good moment. But it's, this is Indiana. It's Indiana Jones, man. It's like it's part of the humor of the IP.
Yeah.
So it stays true to its like original nature.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm so impressed by how they nailed the tone. Like it is it's just absolutely perfection. The tone of the game. I just don't know how they did it.
Thank you.
I don't know how you guys did it. Really?
It's good casting.
Well, we know that. We know that.
No, it's good cast. It's good writing. You cannot neglect the writing. Like the writing is, I think, the most pivotal thing, the whole thing here. It's so good that it makes the job for us actors much easier. And we didn't really have to change a lot of the words. I mean, maybe we switched up a couple of like words or sentences here and there, but we stayed true to the original script. And that was probably the most crucial reason why everything worked out. And then again, it's like, comedic timing, the blocking, this, that, and just kind of make everything work.
And you had the honor of dubbing your own character in German. I mean, that's cool. That's got to be cool. Not many actors can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. And I was really looking forward to it because I was always, telling myself, I will have my major breakthrough once I have to dub myself in German. This'll be it. This'll be the time.
Is this the first time you've done it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
I think it is. Maybe for some short films or stuff like that, but on that like big AAA scale, it was the first time. And it was weird. It was also the first time I heard myself and my performance on my headphones in the studio. I remember. No, actually, it's not true. I remember when Machine Games. I had to go for some more, retakes, reshoots to Stockholm or Uppsala, where Machine Games is based. And then they showed me the character, like how I look and how I walk and how I talk. It was the first time I saw myself. And I was like, oh my God, I'm actually a Nazi guy with a swastika here. Fuck. Shit's real. It's happening.
Well, it is your likeness. It is jarring.
God.
It's your likeness.
It's my likeness. I was like, oh, fuck. I wasn't sure if they're actually going to use my face, but they actually did. And I was shocked. It was like a weird like combo of like pride and shock and is this good? I wasn't sure. I was a little whatever. And then I just like, fuck it, okay, it is what it is. But yeah, first time I actually heard my entire performance was when I had to dub myself in German. And it was weird and cool at the same time, because of course in your brain, if you're a perfectionist, you're like, should have done that better, should have done that, which I did. And that always happens with anything I do. I always think that, man, I could have done better here, could have done better there. That's part of, perfectionists, troubled fate. But then again, I was like, no, it's still okay. It's solid. Like I can work with that.
Oh, that's good. So you weren't too.
I can work with it.
Yeah,
I can work
with yourself.
All right, I could actually work with it. It's fine.
Did you ever say to Troy, we were both Batman, or Todd, Tony? Did you ever say to Tony, we were both Venom?
Yeah, I did. I mean, Tony knew. I told him, dude, I'm actually voicing you in German. He said, no shit, man. And he was giving me like inside infos, like totally strictly confidential shit. I mean, during the shoots, he was like telling me, yeah, you just wait for this, wait for that. It's going to be cool. It was cool. It was cool, man. Yeah, he was, Tony was great. We really miss him. He was cool. It was a story, and I said this in the interview I gave for Eurogamer. We had a day off. Next day was our day off. So it was in Stockholm. We were in a hotel bar, and Tony and I, we wanted to do something, just go out, maybe try some clubs. And it was a techno club right behind the hotel. Supposedly like, cool club in Stockholm, whatever. And we got rejected at the door. And then he really pulled off the "you know who I am" card. You know, you know who I am. You seen Candyman? You seen Candyman? The guy's like, yeah, I see Candyman. I know who you are. But you guys look like you had a little too many drinks. So why don't you come back in an hour, have like a coffee in the meantime, and you come back and we let you guys in. And he said like, so you're saying no to us. You're saying no. I'm never coming back to people who said no to us in the first place. Fuck you. Let's go to the hotel. Let's get a drink there. So we went back to the hotel, and it was a memorable night, man. Yeah, he was literally that guy, and it was
awesome.
such a fun guy, and he was cool. Yeah, so he kept me in the loop about Venom and everything.
Yeah.
I just wish he was still alive to see them. You know how great our game is. Received by everyone.
And it was touching for me as a player, kind of near the end. The scene with him, I don't know if you've seen it.
I know.
He
disappears with a ship.
I thought that is unbelievable. Yeah.
I know. Sometimes like the synchronicity of life, it's really strange, man. It's such a beautiful and like soothing ending to like even like Tony, and it's such a divine moment actually when he like disappears and fades out like this.
Yeah.
But I wish it wouldn't. I wish we wouldn't have to tell it that way.
No, exactly right. So, do you ever get annoyed by the comments about that laugh from? Is it Money Heist?
Yeah, Money Heist, La Casa de Papel. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Does that still happen to you now?
Yeah, I mean, some people in Germany when I walk the streets recognize me because of like Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. They know who I am, and it doesn't happen that much anymore. But back in the days, like 2020, 2021, like pandemic times, everybody was at home. Yeah, and it was a big hit, that show, and that like specific laugh was a viral hit, and everybody wanted to hear it or like have me say their names, like greet them with the voice and the laugh and everything, like send them audio messages on Instagram. Yeah, it still happens sometimes, and I don't mind at all. It's this laugh, and this is the irony of life, man. Sometimes it's like a cosmic joke. You know, I was in LA for 4 years, 2016 through 2020, and I wanted to stay longer. I had a work visa and everything. And then COVID hit, and I returned to Berlin. And I was like, man, I don't want to go back to Berlin, right? I want to stay in LA. I still have my agenda here. I have a plan. I want to make it. I want to I want to, move forward in my career and everything. But the blank truth, I was broke as fuck at the time. And then COVID was like a welcome excuse for me to go back and sort of like reboot my life. And ever since I got back to Germany, my career took off. It took like a very different turn because of the laugh. Because, and this is what happens, like listen to this, it's insane. So what happened is, so the show was ongoing since I think 2017 or it's 2016 or something. So it was the 4th season that was about to come out early 2020. And it was COVID. It was like lockdowns everywhere. So people were at home, had massive time.
It was a huge show too. Yeah, I remember.
It was a huge show. Yeah. It was probably one of the biggest, maybe the biggest show at the time. So, and I was trying so hard to move forward in my career, invest a lot of money and energy and everything, time, as I said before, in LA. And then I came back to Germany, sort of like feeling, man, I failed. It was this feeling of failure, shit. And then the show came out, and some people on Instagram asked me to send them like an audio message with a laugh and say their names and say, hi, hey, this is Denver, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so, and I sent a couple of like messages to them. And what they did is they did a screen recording with their phones, uploaded it on TikTok, turned it into a video. And TikTok was a platform completely unknown to me at the time. I didn't even know what it was. And this shit went completely viral on TikTok. Like everybody wanted to have a personal audio message from that character of that show saying their name. So the next day, I had like at the time I had like whatever, 1,000, 2,000 followers on Instagram. Half of them were bots, and the other were like family who followed me because they felt sorry for me, right? Okay, overnight, I gained 20,000 followers, 25,000 followers.
That's crazy.
Overnight.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy, dude, because people were like, oh, this is the hottest shit. I want to have this personal audio message. So it's like, hey, I can gain followers just by sending messages all day long. I have no work now. Everything's closed. Fine, 24/7 is like, doing a laugh and sending those messages. And, it was a big breakthrough because people all of a sudden knew who I was. And then I had the opportunity and like I had the base and the foundation of like presenting them more of my art in general and using Instagram and even TikTok later as a platform to showcase myself. So this laugh, it was like the universe was laughing at me. It was like a cosmic joke. This is what I mean by cosmic joke. That's the irony. Sometimes you got to let go of things. Got to let go of this like tunnel vision thing. I need to be in LA. This is my way. This is the only way. No, once I came back to Berlin, boom, chop. My career took a very sudden and unexpected turn, and it changed everything.
That's amazing, man. That's a great story.
That's incredible.
Good lessons.
That's an incredible story.
Good
Absolutely,
lessons,
man. You got to let go. Let go is the story of it. And sometimes you never know. The Lord talks to you in mysterious ways, Sometimes you never know what's going on. What the fuck is happening? Then it is happening somehow, but it's from somewhere you never expected it from. It's like, what?
Few more before I let you go. Have you always been bilingual? From what age were you? Yeah.
Trilingual. So I was born and raised in Germany. My parents are from Greece, right? So I'm some Greek and German. I have the Greek citizenship, I have the German citizenship. So I was raised bilingually with Greek, which we spoke mostly at home. German, of course, growing up in Germany, and then English was always part of
Greek than German.
It's the same. It's on the same level. It's both my like first languages, mother tongues, I'd say. And then English was always part of my lingual portfolio.
Well, from a young age.
Yeah, from a young age. Yeah, absolutely.
3 different languages.
3, yeah. Now I'm like also learning Spanish, and
okay. Now you're showing off.
Just because I love the the language. And
you're going to be the first actor to dub every language of his own character.
Oh God, no! I don't know. I would love to, but my Spanish is not even close to being able to perform in Spanish on that level, and that the standard that's needed.
Man. You'd say English is your second language.
It's my third language.
Third language, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
My God, man.
Yeah. So it's actually crazy when people hear me in interviews and say, wait, okay, so this guy, is he German? What is he? Is he that? What does he talk like that? He's confusing me. Wait, this is Voss?
What of the German dubs that you've done, characters, would you like to do in English?
I mean, there's a couple of really great ones to choose from. Like, we could take Batman, we could take Venom, we could take some anime characters, probably.
One Piece, yeah.
One Piece, probably, but I mean, English is not the reference language; it's Japanese.
Yeah, true.
When it comes to anime, but if we just stick to the realm of comics and stuff like that, Marvel, DC, and that kind. I don't know. I mean, it would be a great honor to perform Batman or Venom or even the Joker or something. These are, I think, for any actor in the industry, would be the holy grail. So let's see. But I'm actually, I'm not really concerned about that stuff. Like the way I think of my career and everything that comes is, I keep doing what I do as good as I can, and the jobs that are meant for me will enter my life. And it may be a big name, it may be a small name, but I have the opportunity to make a small name big. Nobody knew who the fuck Voss is, you know? So this is, yeah, even there are no small parts. There are only small actors. This is something my acting coach says all the time. So you got to appreciate. And every single role, as small as it may appear, but they want to be performed as well. They want to be filled with life. They want to be brought to life as well, with reckless abandon, you know, with all your heart or all your soul. And this is how I look at it. Actually, you know, some of my favorite characters that I had the pleasure to perform were not necessarily big roles or like very well-known roles, you know, small ones. But it's like, hey, this is a gem of a role, man. What honor to be able to, you know, do this.
So I'm guessing you want to do more performance capture, English-speaking roles. Would you say? Is that the route you're trying to
100%,
take?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind if the next role is a Nazi character as well. Bring it on, dude. I don't mind. If this, I don't really think of, man, I shouldn't be doing this, I shouldn't be doing that. No, I evaluate every role that I get together with my management. But my first reaction is I'm honored that people think of me when they, you know, send me the audition. I'm honored, and I try to do my best of it, and how I like try to give them my concept of a certain character, the way I see it, my vision of a certain character. This is my job. So I don't worry about, you know, man, am I again gotta be the German guy? Am I gotta be the Greek guy? Am I again gotta be like the, you know, the soldier, the this, the that? I don't care. I see if that's what people see in me, then that's what people see in me. So I try to serve the craft of acting, and that's part of it.
Yeah, the only thing for me is like Voss is such a good character that it kind of saddens me that this is it. You know, I won't see him again. It's a one and done, you know?
Unless there's a prequel coming up, I don't know. No, but for sure, it's a bummer that he is most likely not going to return. But then again, I love it because it has a beginning and it has an end, and every good story has a good beginning and has a good end, and it has a good arc in between. So, and I think there is no better ending for Voss as in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. And I love it I kind of like the idea of like leaving it that way.
And lastly, is there anything you want to say to the fans of your work over the years or your work in this game?
What I want to say is that I'm so fucking grateful for every single feedback, positive reaction, even negative reaction, compliment on my performance as Voss. Want to let you guys know that this it means the world to me, because I would be lying if I said, hey, I don't care and I just do my work and I get paid and whatever. No. Having narcissistic tendencies is part of the actor's nature. Anything else is, to me at least, a lie. Like, we want to be seen. We have the drive to be seen. We have this drive to perform in the spotlight. This is the ultimate nature of our job. If you don't have this within you, then I don't know, maybe you're not an actor. So receiving applause is very important to us, and I hear all of you, I see all of you, and it means the world to me that you guys enjoy the character, because this is how it should be. You should all disappear with us actors in the story and play the game and be intrigued by it or fascinated by it, like drawn into it. And if you guys have this experience, or if you guys say, hey, I want to be, I like your performance, man, but I wanted to beat the shit out of you. It's like, there's no better thing to say to me than that.
That's how I felt.
My job is done here.
Hey, it was really satisfying punching your head in at the end there, man. It really was. I've got to say,
I can't wait to really proceed with the game because I'm still like stuck in the Vatican. And then finally to play the final scene and kind of like punch myself in the face. Oh, we had a great moment.
You need to record that.
No, but
when you get to that part.
Absolutely. No, but super grateful for all the feedback, and it truly means a lot. So thank you guys.
Thank you very much, man, for the time today. We've had a blast. We had a pleasure.
Thank you so much, bro.
Everyone can follow you on all the social medias. I'll leave the links in the description.
Thanks.
I like to ask this at the end of every interview. Is there anything your character Voss could say to Dan to finish this one off?
Dan Allen. Sie wollen mich also besiegen. You want to defeat me, Dan Allen? Try your best, because don't forget, I know karate.
Man.
I know this is the favorite line of many people.
Dude, the intensity.
I didn't know. Nobody knew that this line would have such an impact on the gamers, and everybody's quoting that scene. It's like it was just the thing that we did in that moment. we didn't really give it that much of a thought. It was like, and the reason being for like stressing that very last syllable was, I mean, in Germany we say karate, so we stress the second A, karate. Right. And then we had a Japanese AD, assistant director, on set, I think. And she was like, no, actually, you stress the last syllable. It's karate. I was like, oh, okay. So I kind of give it a little bit of a, like, karate.
Wow. That's an interesting...
So that's the story behind it.
But, dude, I love the way you pronounce just the way you get into the character, and just, there's a lot of that in the way he speaks.
I know. It's part of his weaponry in some sort of way. Yes. Like he uses language as a weapon, to threat, intimidate people, and the diction, this very clear and staccato diction. Verstehen Sie mich, Indiana Jones? It's part of it.
Man, you're going to be working till you're 100, man. With that voice and your talent, you got nothing to worry about, brother.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. Let's see if we can sit here in the next game and talk about whatever the character will be.
Hey, next game, we'd love to have you back, man. Thanks for a great chat.
Pleasure. Thank you, man. All right. Peace out.